Welcome to South Jersey Business with Joe Molyneux. Today we will be revisiting a past episode which will feature Mel Cortellessa, owner and operator of Ernest & Son Meat Market. However, this episode also featured a Stockton community connection with Michael Bray, founder of Passion Vines Wine and Spirit Company, and we explored how Ali Nunzi, founder and CEO of Grace and Glory Yoga, supports her local community. Both Ali and Michael are featured guests in the upcoming second season of South Jersey Business. That's right, we are already in our second season. In fact, Ali Nunzi will be our featured guest for the first episode of Season 2. And thanks to all of our guests from Season 1. Each and every one of them are great examples of how to be successful, not only in business within the South Jersey community, but also how to be successful in serving the local South Jersey business community through their collective efforts. Finally, thanks to all of our viewers. I hope you have been enjoying the ride. Your feedback and input have been greatly appreciated and vital to the continued development of this program. This first season was a total blast. So let's check out Mel, Mike, and Ali as we get ready for Season 2, which is right around the corner. And now it's time to watch the show. Thanks, everyone.
Hi, I'm Mel Cortellessa from Ernest & Son Meat Market, and you're watching South Jersey Business with Joe Molyneux.
Welcome to South Jersey Business with Joe Molyneux. I'm excited to be here and share information, tips, and techniques that can make our business community and your business more successful. Big thanks to Stockton University for the opportunity to bring this show to you. On today's program, we will talk with Mel Cortellessa of Ernest & Son Meat Market of both Brigantine and their new location in Linwood, New Jersey. Mel will share portions of his entrepreneurial journey that, while unique in some ways, may also sound familiar to many of you running successful businesses in South Jersey. From his first job at the meat market, cleaning up, to ultimately owning the business, Mel has worked hard to succeed and continues to grow his business. Stay tuned for our conversation with Mel Cortellessa of Ernest & Son Meat Market and more on South Jersey Business with Joe Molyneux. Welcome back to business. Thanks for joining South Jersey Business with me, Joe Molyneux. Please welcome our guest, owner and operator of Ernest & Son Meat Market in Brigantine and their new location in Linwood, New Jersey, Mel Cortellessa. Mel, thank you for joining us on South Jersey Business.
Thanks for having me, Joe.
Well, I understand that you started your career at Ernest & Son Meat Market in Brigantine. Can you talk about the different jobs you held over your career there?
Sure. I started when I was 13, just my mom going in shopping. I had no better job. Started at the bottom, cleaning up, stocking shelves, sweeping the floors, cleaning the glass, carrying bags out for people, and then, worked at the produce department and then did the deli department, and eventually started cutting meat.
It's amazing that you took that model, you started and did every job possible, and then you had the opportunity to buy the business.
Right. At the time, you didn't see the model happening. You just thought I was going to work every day. In the year 2000 or so, I got an offer to buy the business and talked about it with the owner, and I was suited for the job because I'd been through every step, and he was comfortable leaving it with me and keep the brand Ernest & Son. We didn't want to change it. We wanted to keep it the way it was, which is a very popular brand in South Jersey, and we thought it was a good fit, so I jumped at the chance.
I think history is so important in any business and consistency, but in this age of supermarkets and super big box food stores, how do you keep customers coming back to Ernest & Son?
Well, you got to make it personal. You got to know the customer's name, know what they like, and and give them a call, see if they need something once in a while. Or, like I said, carry the bags out for them or deliver it to their house, put it on their table. Some older ladies, we put the groceries in the shelves for them. So
really
at their house, yeah,
it's a nice
kind of
touch.
old school feel. We like to keep it fresh.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
You love to keep it fresh. Speaking of keeping it fresh, your menu is so interesting, and I had a chance to peruse not just your Brigantine menu, but also your new Linwood menu. How do you come up with the names for the sandwiches?
Well, it started out with some city workers coming in getting sandwiches and getting the same things all the time, so we named a couple sandwiches after them. And then we started naming them after our family. And if you notice in the Linwood menu, all the breakfast sandwiches are named after my kids and my nieces and nephews. And my wife and my parents have names too on there too. So try to keep it family, try to keep it traditional. And people like that. People like to say, I'll take the Brianna because they know it's my daughter.
That's great.
Yeah.
The other question I had for you was, you're a business owner and a butcher. So what is your favorite cut of meat?
Well, the favorite cut of meat for me is a ribeye. It's got a little fat on it, and it's the softest steak. I mean, a good ribeye you should be able to cut with a fork just about. And the marbling, gives it some good flavor, which other steaks like the filet and all doesn't have that fat. But a butcher, if you ask any butcher, I think their cut's going to be the ribeye.
Would you say that cut also is something that's popular with your customers?
It's very popular with the customers. The ribeye is more like of a wedding cut, they call it, where the filet mignon's more for the ladies or something leaner, but it's a wedding cut and it's a healthy cut for people.
Well, thanks for sharing. We'll be right back with more business talk with Mel Cortellessa of Ernest & Son Meat Market. We are back with Mel Cortellessa of Ernest & Son Meat Market. Mel, you've owned the meat market for over 10 years now. What are some of the most important business lessons you've learned in running the business?
Well, most importantly is taking care of the customer and taking care of the employees, because if they're both coming back, you're running a good business. Got to give a good product so they can tell other people about your product. Good customer service. Make sure they're happy when they leave, and when they walk in, they're happy to see you.
That's the way it should be. That's good business practices. Now, you're running a great operation over there, like I said, for over 10 years, and you have this opportunity. What was the catalyst to have you grow and to open the second location in Linwood, New Jersey?
It was just to do that, to grow a little bit, to get the Ernest & Son name out there, get it to market it a little bit, statewide almost, you could say, to grow and get it offshore. Because in the winter we struggle a little bit in Brigantine, and we want to, drum up a little more business in the winter for ourselves.
It's interesting because with every transaction you make, you have a product sold and a customer service element. So how do you share the information with the employees that allow them to keep that tone that you set as the individual running the store for all those years? When you hire people, how do you set that tone? What's important to you in the customer service elements?
Well, it's important to handpick your employees, first of all. Family and friends, I've never put an ad out for employees. It's always been through family and friends. And I tell them, treat the people like you'd like to be treated. Nobody wants to come somewhere and get a negative attitude. Like I say, keep a smile on your face and be happy. If you don't like your job, you should change it. So, be happy to people and they should be happy back to you. And that's what you want to do. You want to get them coming back.
That's more good advice. Speaking of family and friends, I had an opportunity recently to meet your entire family. How do you maintain that balance between the needs of the business and the growing needs of a family?
Well, it's tough. I mean, the kids are busy. The wife's got a job. She's busy. And I put a lot of pressure on her, on my wife, Jody. And she's great with it. She understands the chance I took by opening another business, and she understands the chance I took opening the first business. I don't make decisions without her. I mean, they're big decisions. They're life-changing decisions. For my schedule, for her schedules, all of our schedules change. And the kids are happy. The kids love it. They're happy when I'm happy, and that's a family.
Well, speaking of being happy, clearly something's working because you were chosen to be on a national Food Network program, Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives recently. Guy Fieri visited. Can you talk about that experience?
Sure. Just got a call one day in August. We were working in the summer in Brigantine, and asked if we were interested to do a show because I think Guy was a butcher when he was 16 years old in Northern California, and I think he kind of looked us up when he opened his restaurant in Bally's in Atlantic City. And it was a great opportunity. Business is up maybe 35, 40% from it. And being next to Atlantic City is a great hub because I met friends from Boston that come in and they visit in Atlantic City, and you're on their radar now. They come over and see you.
That's perfect. Well, I want to thank you, Mel, for sharing that part of your story and your entrepreneurial endeavor with the South Jersey business audience. Thank you very much. We'll be right back with more South Jersey business. It's time for the M4 Big Money Question with Mel Cortellessa of Ernest & Son Meat Market. Mel, on the show we try to talk about management, marketing, money, and media. So if you could share a little bit with us, that would be great. Can you talk a little bit about your management style?
Sure. My management style is a little more lackadaisical. Like I keep an eye on my guys,
Yeah.
but I let them run the roost a little bit. Like I let them, see what kind of management they would do, But I point them in the right direction. Like I said, I hire good people, so they follow my lead, and they kind of learn by watching.
And that's something that you probably picked up from the previous owner that allowed you to grow inside the business.
Right. We've never been a type of business where we're yelling and screaming. I mean, even though we are like family, but it's more of a lackadaisical approach. And if not many people get fired from Ernest & Son, but if you do, you did something wrong.
But that style works for you. How
works for us.
about your marketing? I noticed you do have some pieces out there. Talk to me about your marketing.
Marketing, we're a little bit old school. We do the local papers. We do. I do a radio stint, and you just advertise, and we've even done stuff back in the day of putting a menu on a windshield in a church. I mean, that's the type of marketing we do. But nowadays we use multimedia facets too.
Well, we're going to get to media.
Yeah.
Now let's talk a little bit about the money. It's a
Okay.
necessary evil. It's part of the business, but everybody has a view on it.
Right. Well, money's important in business. I mean, this is why we do it. You got to pay your bills. You got to keep on your bills. You can't get too far behind. And if you need money, don't be afraid to borrow it. I mean, that's why banks are there. That's why other outlets are there. But borrowing money is a good thing in business sometimes. It builds your credit and then, gives you some money for the future.
Absolutely. Now, one of our favorite ones, media. And you had a great media story when you had an opportunity to have Guy Fieri from Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives visit Ernest & Son in Brigantine. But how else do you use media and social media?
Well, social media is a wonderful thing. And me being a little older, I'm not great with it, but a lot of my younger guys do, and they help me out with it. But like, for instance, with Guy Fieri, I mean, I went from maybe 1,000 Facebook friends to about 4,000 in a matter of about a year. It was crazy.
Wow.
And people look you up, and they do. And everybody has a phone in their hand. So that means everybody can get to you somehow. And media is a wonderful thing. It really is. And there's a lot of free outlets out there. And there's a lot that you can pay a little bit of money to and spread your wings a little bit with.
It's great because when we were talking earlier about the quality of your products and service, that keeps you on your guard, right? Knowing that a couple bad reviews or a lot of good reviews can really drive the business.
Right, reviews are a good thing. I mean, I read the good ones and I comment to the bad ones, because you don't want to lose a customer. If a customer's not happy, you offer them something free to get them back in there and let them try it. There's nothing wrong with that. Back in the day, you didn't know the customers that were mad all the time. They didn't say that. But now at least you can see it and you can find them and talk to them in a nice way.
That's great advice. You're using the social media as an opportunity to get closer to your customers.
Of course, make it personal.
Excellent. Well, I want to thank you for sharing your M4 views on South Jersey Business with Joe Molyneux.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Well, there you have it. Ernest & Son's Mel Cordelesa's meaty mix of management, marketing, money, and media. Welcome back. We always try to infuse a little bit of entertainment into the education component on the show. At South Jersey Business with Joe Molyneux, we like to combine our profession of business with our passion for music from time to time. So today, we will add a little bit of musical inspiration into the M4 mix. So let's explore the life cycle of business inspired by Tom Petty. With a recent passing of the rock and roller Tom Petty, the music world lost a creative force that for many of us has been a staple of our life and our soundtrack for over 40 years. With an extremely rich and familiar catalog of songs, the music of Tom Petty has been part of my weekly M4 radio show broadcast here at Stockton on WLFR 91.7 FM since the show began 11 years ago. Petty's lyrics have served as motivation and inspiration for me as well as many others. So let's break down the life cycle of business with a little help from Tom Petty's songs. By the way, we could have spotlighted many songs from his catalog, but these 5 songs stood out, and here they are. Let's begin with Square One from the soundtrack album Elizabethtown. Every business or idea for a business starts somewhere. Square One is where you and your business begin. The song talks about getting around your fear and how later on won't work no more. So don't hesitate. Start at square one and take action. Learning to Fly from the album Into the Great Wide Open. The trials and errors in business occur as you learn what to do and what not to do in operating your business. From the Wright brothers to today's drone developers, learning to fly takes trial and error and your experience and the knowledge you gain along the way that helps your business take off and hopefully soar. Walls, from the soundtrack album, She's the One. You will run into roadblocks and setbacks in business. The key is to recognize quickly when you hit a wall or see an obstacle coming. There are many ways to handle these walls. You can climb over it, you can dig under it, you can go around it, or you can decorate the wall and invite the right amount of people to come over and help you figure things out. Free Falling, from the album Full Moon Fever. There will be good days and great days in your business, and your business should grow. However, at some point, you may experience the feeling of your business entering a mature state, and things begin to slow down or trail off, or even free fall. You may be working towards a plan for an exit strategy. Don't come around here no more, from the album Southern Accents. Not the perfect phrase to use, but it is another way to say we're closed. Sometimes by choice, and other times this occurs due to circumstances beyond your control. Whatever the reason, most businesses end. So this final song represents not only the end of your business, but the end of the life cycle of your business. So there you have it, a musically infused business life cycle inspired by the music of Tom Petty. Rock and peace, TP, and thank you for sharing your talents for the musical masses to enjoy. We'll be right back. Having a good community conscience is an important part of building solid business relationships in the region where your customers, friends, and families live. Making a real difference through giving can be part of making a living in business. Here's how this week's guest gets involved to make our communities and region stronger. Allie, we meet so many businesses that are involved in the community, and Grace and Glory Yoga is definitely involved in the community. I know you were named New Jersey Magazine's one of the most generous companies back in 2015. What went into that allowed that award to happen? What were you doing back in 2015 that got you that award?
Yeah, since our inception of being open since 2012, it's always been my main thrust to really contribute to the community, not only locally but globally. And so a lot of what we do is we'll hold classes and it'll be a certain organization that will donate. So that award we were the recipient of that award because that's something that we do. It's one of our main business practices, and we are a service-based organization, or as I like to call it, I'm a social entrepreneur, and so the people around us matter. And so because of that, we need our dollars and how we contribute our dollars to the world around us to matter.
I'm not alone in feeling that you're one of those businesses that should receive the accolades. I believe you won the Best of the Press from 2013 all the way through 2017, and you did just say you started the business in 2012. So that's a pretty good run, and I don't think there's any end in sight. But what does that mean to you? Because that's the public voting to award your services, correct?
Yeah, it's an honor, really, because that's the people in which we serve, and we want. My hope is at the end of the day, people know that we're for them and we're for their growth. So to receive an honor like that, it means the most to us.
I love that you just recently opened up the leadership, not too long ago, opened up the Leadership Studio. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because that was a combination, it was a partnership with another individual, and I'd love you to talk a little bit about the motivation to bring Atlantic City yoga through the Leadership Studio, and more than yoga, leadership. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Totally. So Kathy Whitmore, who is my partner in our 501c3 in Atlantic City, is a 40-year veteran of the Atlantic City school system, and she did our teacher training in 2014. And it's always been her hope to take yoga and bring it to the community that we live in, and when we see a need. And so we were doing pop-up yoga all over the city, in all 6 wards of the city, and then what that eventually led to was the request of the demand for, hey, we want a yoga studio over here for us. So that's in October of 2017, actually the day before I had my daughter, we opened the Leadership Studio, which has been incredible. And so we're able to provide scholarships for yoga teacher trainings, different civic leadership development programs, and we also are the home of the Champions of Youth program that works with the Atlantic City High School students. So we're really lucky in that we can bring yoga to people that need it. Everyone needs it, and also, our hope is that we can provide yoga and make it accessible for everyone, no matter where you live.
Now, you were talking about doing yoga in a pop-up way. You also got involved in a great program that we've done a lot of conversation here on the show about, the 48 Blocks program that was partnered with Stockton, and Joyce Hagan was on the show, and there was a lot going on with that. What did you do as part of 48 Blocks?
Yoga.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, so we
sense.
were able, yoga is a movement art, and so we love it. We love the 48 Blocks Festival. We love what Joyce and the whole team there is doing, and we're hoping that this year we're involved in an even bigger way as it evolves. And the one thing that I really love about 48 Blocks is it gets people out and walking around our city, which is so important. Whether it's just to simply break stigma that Atlantic City is not walkable, or really what I found in its inaugural year last year was the beautiful way in which it band people together. And there's a certain energy of pride about the city that day, and it really bled out through the rest of the year. So I'm so excited to see, as we contribute yoga and art in 2018, I'll be really excited to see what that does to the city.
Well, I want to thank you for a lot of the work you're doing. I mean, the community work, you're talking about bringing pride. You're bringing pride and energy to Tennessee Avenue through the Leadership Studio, so I want to thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you.
That was Ali Nunzi, founder and CEO of Grace and Glory Yoga. We'll be right back with more South Jersey Business. As a proud graduate of Stockton, it is wonderful to meet and speak with so many business people in our region who have a past or a current link to the university as well. Let's plug into a Stockton Community Connection. Michael, as you are aware, Stockton University is growing in so many different directions. New campus in Atlantic City is coming in the fall. We just have so much going on at Stockton. Stockton, you have a community connection with Stockton as well.
Yes.
So could you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Listen, I think it's incredibly exciting what's happening, and the leadership at Stockton has never been better. We as a business rely on Stockton, and specifically interns. Even right now, as I sit here, we have a total of 4 interns at Passion Vines, and they help us tremendously. They bring a point of view to which isn't in our work environment. So to be able to tap that is priceless.
It's interesting that you should specifically focus on interns. I know there's other things that you do at the college, and we're going to talk about that in just a second. But, you get the input and the insight of a new potential customer as well, right? Because those are the young people that are coming into age, and it's where they can be a buyer of your products. And they can also give you the insight of what people around them are doing and how they're doing it, correct?
You hit it on the head. That's exactly right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to remember what it was like to be 21, right? So here they are, 20, 21, just taking their first sip of wine. So what is that like, right? What are you thinking about? As you shop the wine wall, what's most important to you? And so, listen, at the end of the day, it's all about the psychology of the buyer.
Yeah.
So to that point, it just gets us closer.
You're talking about a connection where you're benefiting from interns coming into your business, but there's a flip side to that. The students directly benefit when you come in and guest speak, specifically in the hospitality and tourism areas of the college, or excuse me, of the university, when I went to the school as a college. And so can you talk to me about that experience? Because specifically you've worked with a number of hospitality and tourism professors. Can you talk about some of those examples?
Yeah, absolutely. So Donna Albano has invited us several times to come in and speak to her class. And listen, I enjoy it immensely. Like I said, just to be on campus at the university is a special place. And so to be in the classroom, to share my experience, but ultimately to end with a Q&A where I can see, again, where their mindset is at. And again, that helps us as a business prepare for the next generation of workers and constantly allows us to tap a potential that we wouldn't otherwise.
It's interesting too, because I know they have marketing programs that can reach out to businesses, but specifically because travel and tourism is, you're in retail, but you're also in a hospitality type environment. Have good ideas been spawned from the interns? Because I know you're a big believer in working with your team members to develop new ideas for your company.
Yeah, listen, the first thing I say to every intern is you're not here to get me coffee. You're not here to get anyone coffee. You're not here to make copies. That may happen, but within the context of that, you're going to be working on something. And so, my goal and my promise to every single intern that walks through our door is that you leave with a major experience that you will be able to apply to the next step. Right, and when that doesn't happen, let me know, right? Because then we'll adjust for the next group. But ultimately, again, I look at it as our responsibility to give back. And how would you want to be treated, just coming out of college, right? And I can't, when I think of the mentors I've had in my life, they've been the mentors that have, yes, provided an opportunity, but have also challenged me to a high level.
Michael, you're an educator, clearly, through the business, and you're developing all these new ideas and things that are happening in your business, and you're sharing those with the people around you. It is an education model, especially wine. And I just want to thank you for spending your time, not just on the Community Connection, but the Stockton Connection seems to be growing, and I think Stockton benefits from it, and clearly, from what you said, you benefit from it.
My pleasure, Joe.
Thank you very much. That was Michael Bray, founder of Passion Vines Wine and Spirit Company, with locations in Egg Harbor Township and Somers Point, New Jersey. We'll be right back with more South Jersey Business. Time for a viewer question. And here it is. I want to get more involved in business groups and network through attending events and activities held by these groups. With so many options, how do I choose the right group for me? That's a great question. When it comes to joining business groups, chambers, and associations, the first thing to do is make sure the group fits your networking needs. You may want to visit the group's website and take a look at the list of members as well as the frequency of the meetings and networking opportunities. It is also important to talk to businesses that are members and ask their opinion. Do not hesitate to reach out to a business acquaintance whose name you recognize on a list of members. A good way to truly see if there is a good fit between the group and your business is to experience a networking function or gathering. If you contact a group or groups you are interested in and explain that you would like to attend a mixer, there is a good chance they will invite you as their guest, especially if it's a monthly mixer or a no-cost or low-cost gathering. Take them up on the offer. Immerse yourself in the event. Then reflect on what you saw, who you met, and decide if the fit is right for you and your business. I hope that helps answer your question. Well, that's all for today's show. We had a quality sit-down, got to meet Mel Cortellessa from Ernest & Son Meat Market in Brigantine and a new location in Linwood. Answered a question and even learned about the business life cycle with a musical twist. Once again, thank you to Stockton University and everyone that makes this program possible. Let's do it again next week. Meanwhile, let's get growing, South Jersey. Thanks for watching.